Hi everybody, this is a video about the short answer assignment for Principles of Economics, Autumn Semester 2019. The first point that you need to be aware of is that the assignment is due on Monday the 13th of May by midnight. After that you turn into a pumpkin. You submit your assignment on the Views website in using the Turnitin link, which is under the short answer assignment link. When you go there, you'll see that Turnitin says that the assignment's due on the 19th of May, but that only means that it will be open until the 19th of May for late submissions. If you do submit late, you'll be penalised by 2 marks per day. So please make sure that you submit by the 13th of May. If you get an assignment question which shows you this diagram of the aggregate demand, aggregate supply model for an economy as a whole, you should go to chapter 12 of your textbook and have a look in that. It will help you answer this question. Also, the videos in week 11, topic 10, output determination and inflation, will help as well. If you get a question on the aggregate demand, aggregate supply model for the short run that asks about changes in the general level of prices and real GDP, then you should again go to chapter 12 of your textbook and also look at the videos in week 11, topic number 10. If you get a question about GDP and well-being, then you should look at the videos in week 8, topic 8, macroeconomic variables, in particular the videos that relate to GDP and well-being, obviously. If you get a question about the effect of interest rates on expenditure, total expenditure, in particular the 3 components of total expenditure that you're asked about, that is consumption spending, investment spending, and net exports, then that is scattered all over the place. So you'll need to look at chapter 10 of your textbook, in particular components of aggregate demand, chapter 13 on monetary policy, and chapter 15 on exchange rates and the balance of payments. If you go through them, you should be able to piece together what the answer to that question would be. If you get a question that has this Keynesian cross diagram in it of the economy, then you need to look in chapter 10 of your textbook, look at the videos from week 10, topic 9, output determination and unemployment. If you get a question that has this table in it, that's asking you about the closed economy of Atlantis, now remember a closed economy is an economy in which there is no trade, that is, so there's no net export expenditure, then you'll need to have a look at chapter 10 of your textbook and also look at the videos in week 10, topic 9, output determination and unemployment. They will help you out. However, I'm going to give you a little bit more help with that because it might be a bit difficult for you to determine aggregate consumption based on that information alone. So let's do that. I'll give you a little example to help out. When we talk about total domestic consumption expenditure at any given level of output, because at different levels of output or different levels of national income, consumption spending will be different. We say that there are 2 components to it. There's an autonomous component of consumption expenditure, which is not determined by the level of GDP. So it's some fixed or the level of national income. That it's fixed in a sense. It will occur, there'll be a certain amount of consumption which will occur no matter what the level of income is. And then there's induced consumption, and that depends on the level of income in the economy. In particular, what we would assume is that as income rises, then consumption spending rises. And with respect to induced consumption in particular, we're not just talking about the level of national income, we're really talking about households' disposable income. So that's income minus taxation that would have to be paid. Whatever's left over, that's disposable income. So if we wanted to put it in symbolic form, we can write it like this. C equals C0, which is autonomous consumption, some fixed amount of consumption which occurs no matter what, and CI, which we're going to call, that's induced consumption. Now, when we come to induced consumption in particular, we need to remember that this is some amount of consumption which will occur due to the level of disposable income. So we can write it like this. It's some percentage, little c, some percentage of the disposable income. Disposable income is the total income minus the tax, which is, in this case, it's a fixed amount of tax, so that's nice and easy. So some percentage of the disposable income. Alright. The some percentage of disposable income, the little c here, is the marginal propensity to consume. So when we expand out this equation, we've got autonomous consumption plus some percentage of disposable income will give us the total amount of consumption expenditure. Okay. So let's say that autonomous consumption spending is $20 billion for a given year. So we would plug that into our expanded equation. And let's say the marginal propensity to consume is 90%. That is, households will spend 90% of their disposable income, or 0.9 of each additional dollar that they receive. So we plug that in there. And say we're interested in the total consumption spending at the level of income of $500 billion. So we plug that in here. We need to minus from that the lump sum amount of tax, which let's say is $10 billion. Alright, so now we can see our equation with with numbers in it. So now we're going to be able to use this to calculate what the total consumption spending is at the level of $500 billion in national income. So we just solve it. So $20 billion plus 90% of the disposable income, which is 490 billion. So that's total consumption is 20 billion plus 441 billion dollars. This is the autonomous component plus the induced consumption component. And we just add them up. So total consumption spending will be $461 billion when income is $500 billion. Okay? And that's how you answer that kind of question.